Right, I'm going to move this down. Can I drag this down here, you think? Can I drag this down here? Of course not. But I can put it away. Okay, yeah, good. We're rolling now. Okay, we are rolling now. I love it. Hey, 1.7, we're going to look at multiplying and dividing integers. So as a goal, multiply and divide integers. Some big rules right here. I would say that what you really need to know, and I think you probably already know some of this stuff, but right here, rules. And I kind of remember it a different way, but how about a volunteer to read Rule A when we're talking about multiplying or dividing integers? Volunteer for A for me. Somebody to read it. Yep. You want it, Grant?
Positive times are divided by a negative.
Okay, so anytime you have a positive and a negative right here, you're either multiplying or divided. What do you get in the end? What do you get in the end? Negative, okay? Part B says a positive times or divided by a positive is what? And then the last one says a negative times or divided by a negative is what? Okay, so I like to make some notes on this right here. I think it's important. I like to just do this. Anytime you're multiplying or dividing, positive and a negative equal a negative, okay? And it's only which two operations again now in this section? Which two? Okay. Positive times or divided by a positive is a positive. So a positive and a positive is going to equal a positive. And then the last one right here, a negative and another negative is positive, okay? Here's how I kind of remember right here. In part A, are the signs the same or different when you multiply and divide? Are these signs the same or different right here? First two. Different. So if the signs are different, you're going to get a negative. If the signs are the same, two positives is positive, two negatives is positive. So if the signs are the same, then you're going to end up with a positive. Okay? So let's run through this quickly. All right? On example one, let's just throw a couple of these right up here. Okay? Okay. First of all, positive or negative in the end when you multiply that, kids? Got a negative times a positive here. Now we're multiplying now, not adding, subtracting stuff anymore. We're multiplying. So what's your rule say up there for a negative times a positive? Negative. Negative how much here, kids? There you go. All right, let's see if we can't do some more here. How about this right here? How about negative 6 times negative 9 here? First of all, positive or negative on the end of that? Okay, we're now multiplying. Now again, be careful. If there's nothing between parentheses right here, if there's no sign between parentheses, we really assume what operation right here, kids? So this is really saying negative 6 times negative 9. So if you look at your rules, negative times a negative is a positive. How about that product of 6 and 9 then? What is 6 times 9? 54. So this should be a positive 54. Okay, positive 54. All right? What's a negative times a negative? Positive. What's a negative times a positive? Negative. Okay, let's look at a few more examples here, I think. Here we're going to look at the product of three different numbers right there. Okay, the product of three different numbers. That says negative 6 times 3 times negative 2. Now again, rules are going to apply the same way, but let me ask this question. In the end, what are you going to have for a solution? Positive or negative first? Negative. Here, a negative? Let's look at it this way first. What would a negative, let's look at the first two. What would a negative times a positive get you first? Negative. So then you're going to take this negative times another negative, which turns out to be what in the end?
Positive.
It's going to be positive in the end, isn't it? Okay, so help me with this. We know it's going to be positive. I sometimes like to ask myself that question first. Just know if it's going to be positive or negative in the end. We already know it's going to be what in the end? Okay, positive. So it really becomes 6 times 3 times 2, but we know the answer is going to be positive in the end. What is 6 times 3, kids? 18 times 2 more? you weren't sure, I could take it out of order. What's 2 times 3? 6, right? And then 6 times 6 more would be? All right, the product of these 3 numbers. I looked at the signs first, said, okay, these first 2 are going to be negative. That negative times this negative is going to be positive. I want 2, 3, and 6. 2 and 3 is 6. Times 6 more is? Okay. Let's have you try one on your own here, all right? I'll change the color up here. Number 4. Let's go negative 2 times negative 3 times negative 5. See what you guys get. Raise your hand when you have a solution, okay? All right, volunteer.
Wait, hold on. Can we finish that?
Yeah. You tell me when, Wesley.
I don't want to volunteer anymore.
Anybody else want to help me? Mercedes? Negative 30, okay. How many have negative 30? I'm out of curiosity. Excellent, okay. First of all, again, I think it's good for us to look at these and say, okay, what's the sign going to be in? First 2 right here, negative times a negative would get you a what here? Positive, and then a positive times this last negative right here would be back to what? Negative. So I know my answer is going to be negative. I like to write that down right away. And then I just use the values here, 2, 3, and 5. 2 and 3, that product is? 6 times 5 more, absolutely negative 30. Very good. Mercedes, give yourself a pat on the back there, okay? All right, so rules, same exact thing for division. Anytime I'm dealing with signs like this, well, we might have something like, for division, 8 divided by negative 4, okay? First of all, in the end, my solution for division, which is really a form of multiplication, will my solution in the end be positive or negative here? Negative. A positive divided by a negative, positive 8 divided by negative 4 will be negative. Okay, negative how much, kiddos?
2.
Negative 2. Good. All right. So what if I had like negative 36? And you might see it like this in fraction form as well for division over negative 9. What about that?
Positive.
Okay, so it's a negative divided by negative, so this is going to be a positive. Okay. 4. Okay, positive 4. All right, let's see how good we are. Last example. Let's go negative 24 divided by negative 6 times 2. Raise your hand when you think you know the answer to that. Raise your hand when you think you know the answer to that. Okay, Jonah, what are you thinking? 8. Positive 8. Okay. All agree positive first of all?
Yep.
Yeah, he's right. Negative divided by a negative is a what here? Positive. Now we're going to go positive times another positive right here, which would be positive. Okay, so negative 24 divided by negative 6 is positive how much? 4 times the 2 is 8. Okay. How do I feel about this? Pretty okay? Now when we get to some stuff, and we've talked about this already, when they say evaluate when x is a certain value, anytime you substitute numbers in for a variable, what should you always put around your substitution? Parentheses, okay? All right, so I